Virgo, you have little time before this revelation explodes. Something is shifting around you, and it's not just coincidence. The air feels different, doesn't it? That faint unease in your chest, the way your thoughts refuse to settle, it's not anxiety. It's a signal. The universe is trying to reach you before the moment arrives. You felt it these past days. The strange lightness, the restless intuition that won't let you sleep. You keep telling yourself it's nothing. But deep down, something, or someone, is moving toward you. And when it reaches you, everything you thought you understood will change. Before we begin, welcome to Mindfulness Meditation. If this message finds you, it's not by accident. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because what you're about to hear might be the message that saves you from walking blind into what's coming next. Now listen carefully, Virgo. This is no longer just an entertainment reading. This is an urgent warning. The energy surrounding you is intensifying, like a quiet storm just before it breaks. You can feel it, the pulse of something hidden beneath ordinary life. Maybe it's a truth that someone tried to keep from you. Maybe it's a part of yourself you've been refusing to face. Either way, the walls between what's known and what's been hidden are thinning. The revelation is inevitable. And when it comes, it will not whisper. It will roar. I need you to understand, the unease you're feeling is not fear, it's alignment. You're tuning into the frequency of truth. Your intuition has been screaming in quiet ways, through your dreams, through random memories resurfacing, through that single person whose energy feels suddenly different. Pay attention. Because the face that approaches you may look familiar, but the intention behind it will not be the same. Do not panic. The universe is not punishing you. It's protecting you. It is shaking what can no longer stay hidden. It is preparing you to see without illusion. Every instinct you've ignored, every subtle sign you brushed aside, they were all guiding you here, to this exact moment. So take a breath. Center yourself. Because what's about to be revealed will not destroy you, it will define you. When truth explodes, it burns away the false light, leaving only what's real. And Virgo, you're about to see what's real. Stay with me until the end. You'll understand why your spirit has been restless. The message ahead isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to awaken you. Because the revelation has already begun. This is your wake-up call, Virgo. The universe is speaking, not to threaten you, but to make sure you are ready when destiny knocks. Now, let's begin. The silent unraveling, Virgo and the signs of awakening. There are moments in life when silence becomes deafening, when the air feels heavier, when your routines start to crumble for no reason, and when you catch yourself staring into the distance wondering, what is happening to me? Virgo, this isn't chaos. This is preparation. What you feel right now, that strange unease, that tug beneath your ribs, that quiet dread that doesn't quite have a name, it isn't random. It's a signal. The universe is whispering through the cracks of your ordinary days, trying to get your attention. You are being pulled into revelation. Have you noticed how the smallest things have started to shift? The people you used to lean on now feel distant. The places that once brought comfort now echo differently. The conversations that used to fill your mind now drain you. It's as if something unseen has reached into your life and begun rearranging the furniture of your soul. That's not loss. That's alignment. November is the month when cycles end forcefully, not to destroy, but to cleanse. It's the cosmic purge, the dismantling of what has been quietly rotting behind the curtain. Virgo, you've always been the caretaker of order. You build systems, you create structure, you try to keep the world from falling apart. But now, the world needs to fall apart. Not because you failed, but because your spirit has outgrown the walls you built to feel safe. Your anxiety, your exhaustion, that haunting feeling of something's off, they're not symptoms of weakness. They are the birth pangs of awakening. Every truth begins in discomfort. Every revelation demands a collapse. And this one? It's yours. Look deeper. The people who suddenly exit your life are not abandoning you. They are being rerouted by divine timing. The plans that crumble are not punishments, they are corrections. The delay you hate so much is protection in disguise. The Virgo soul often confuses control with safety, but true safety comes only from surrender. This is not the month to hold tighter. It's the month to let the tide carry you where logic cannot. And yet, this transformation is not gentle. The spiritual awakening of a Virgo rarely is. Because you are built from discernment. You question everything, including yourself. You demand proof before you trust. But what if proof arrives only after you leap? What if your awakening begins in the very moment you stop explaining everything and simply feel it? The heart knows long before the mind can translate. So when your intuition trembles, don't silence it. Follow it. Even when it leads you into uncertainty. Especially then. The truth that's coming is not outside of you, it's buried within. This revelation won't arrive as a dramatic event or a thunderous sign from the heavens. It will come quietly, like dawn, slow, deliberate, inevitable. You'll wake up one morning and realize you no longer want to fight for what doesn't feel right. You'll stop chasing, stop proving, stop performing for love that must constantly be earned. You'll begin to understand that peace was never something to find. It was something to return to. Virgo, your spirit is undergoing an energetic detox. Everything false is leaving your field, the identities, the obligations, the invisible contracts you signed just to be accepted. This unraveling feels brutal only because it touches everything you once called home. But beneath the rubble, something is being restored. Your truth, your light, your original essence before the world told you who to be. That is the revelation November brings. Not the end of something sacred, but the remembrance of who you were before you began surviving. You're not breaking down. You're breaking open. You're learning that healing isn't about going back to who you were, but about becoming who you are meant to be once illusions dissolve. And in this sacred undoing, the universe is not punishing you, it's introducing you to yourself. So when you feel the tremors, don't resist them. When the silence gets too loud, don't fill it, listen. This isn't chaos, it's choreography. You are being moved into divine position. The revelation isn't coming for you, it's coming through you. And when it does, you'll finally understand, the unease was never fear. It was the sound of your soul remembering its own name. The collapse of calm, Virgo, and the breaking of the mask. There comes a moment when pretending becomes unbearable. When the smile you've worn for years begins to ache. When every "I'm fine" leaves an aftertaste of exhaustion. Virgo, you've been the guardian of peace for too long, the quiet stabilizer, the one who holds everything together when everyone else falls apart. But lately, can you feel it? The tremor beneath your calm? The cracks in the shell you built to survive? That's not weakness. That's truth demanding to be heard. For months, maybe years, you've been living inside a mask that looks like composure. You've convinced yourself that control equals safety. That holding your emotions in check keeps the chaos away. But here's the paradox. The protection has become a prison. What once saved you is now suffocating you. Your calm exterior, once a strength, has turned into a barrier between who you are and who you are meant to be. And the universe, relentless in its honesty, is now shaking the walls you built to keep yourself untouched. You've mastered the art of appearing okay. Even when your chest tightens, you tell yourself it's just fatigue. Even when your eyes sting with unshed tears, you say, "I'm just tired." But tired of what, Virgo? Tired of pretending that balance means silence? Tired of being everyone's anchor while your own heart drifts further from shore? The body always speaks first. The headaches, the tension in your shoulders, the weight in your stomach that won't go away. These aren't random symptoms. They're the language of the soul when it's done whispering and begins to scream, "I can't live this lie anymore." You see, the Virgo mind is both a masterpiece and a trap. You rationalize everything. You analyze your pain until it becomes data. But emotion is not a problem to solve, it's a truth to experience. You can't spreadsheet your way out of sorrow. You can't edit chaos into harmony. You must feel it. You must let the storm break. And yes, it's terrifying, because once the mask cracks, there's no turning back. But beneath that collapse lies your resurrection. We all wear masks, some out of duty, some out of fear. But Virgo's mask is made of perfectionism. The need to be right, to be useful, to be calm. It's noble, but it's heavy. And lately, life has been pressing on that mask with unbearable force. The universe doesn't punish, it exposes. It shows you where you've been pretending. That's why things have started to fall apart. Not to hurt you, but to free you. The job that no longer fits, the relationship that feels hollow, the friendships that drain instead of nourish, they're all mirrors showing you where your truth has outgrown your disguise. Virgo, the spiritual paradox is this. Healing often looks like breaking. The moment you stop pretending, everything you built on pretense collapses. But that's the point. The mask was never meant to last forever. It was a bridge, a temporary shelter until you learned how to stand in your own authenticity. And now, the bridge is burning behind you. You're being called to cross into a life that doesn't require performance. You'll feel resistance. The ego always fights for survival. It'll whisper, if I let go, I'll lose everything. But what if what you lose are only the things that were never truly yours? What if freedom looks like loss at first? The Virgo heart is built for devotion, but devotion must evolve from duty to truth. You can no longer sacrifice your peace for appearances. You can no longer trade your joy for the illusion of stability. Let the collapse happen. Don't rush to rebuild. Don't patch the cracks. Sit in the rubble of what's real and breathe. Because what remains after the mask falls is not ruin, it's revelation. You'll see yourself clearly for the first time in years. Vulnerable, raw, unpolished, alive. And in that exposure, something miraculous happens. Your soul stops whispering and begins to sing. Virgo, this isn't your breakdown. It's your breakthrough. The calm is gone because you've outgrown the quiet that comes from suppression. You are entering a new kind of peace, one born not from control, but from truth. So when the old ways start to crumble, don't panic. Smile gently. The storm isn't against you. It's inside you, and it's clearing the way for your real life to finally begin. Virgo divided. 3 paths to the same awakening. Every Virgo right now stands at a crossroads, some quietly trembling, others holding their breath, all sensing that something invisible but undeniable is shifting. You may not be able to name it yet, but deep down, you feel it, a strange pulse running beneath your routines, a whisper saying, you can't keep living like this. It's not punishment. It's the awakening of a soul that's tired of pretending. For those born in the early days of Virgo season, between August 23rd and September 2nd, your story begins in the mirror of relationships. You've always been the giver, the listener, the one who notices the details others miss. But lately, something inside you has begun to ache, not because you've stopped loving, but because you've stopped feeling seen. You've been living as a background character in your own life, adjusting your tone, your needs, your truth just to keep the peace. But peace built on silence isn't peace at all. It's erasure. The invisible chain that keeps you small isn't held by others anymore. It's held by your own fear of being too much. Yet the universe is saying, be too much. Be undeniable. Your invisibility is ending, not because someone finally notices you, but because you finally notice yourself. This is your liberation from the illusion of harmony. For the Virgo born in the middle of the month, September 3rd to 13th, your battlefield is not the heart but the realm of worth. You've worked tirelessly, given endlessly, perfected everything except your own rest. You've accepted less pay, less recognition, fewer thanks, all in the name of being dependable. But that quiet sense of depletion you feel? It's the soul's rebellion against underestimation. The Virgo gift for service becomes a wound when it forgets self-respect. The cosmos is calling you to rewrite the contract, not with your employer or your family, but with your own sense of value. You are not here to be useful. You are here to be whole. The guilt that rises when you put yourself first? That's the residue of old conditioning, the voice of a world that rewards humility but fears sovereignty. This month, the universe is daring you to ask for more, not because you're greedy, but because you've finally realized what you're worth. And for those at the end of Virgo season, born between September 14th and 22nd, your awakening is about truth. Not the kind you preach, but the kind you've avoided. You've spent years editing yourself to fit the world's expectations, softening your opinions, adjusting your authenticity, perfecting the image of being put together. But now, even the mirror has started to betray you. You look at yourself and see someone well-constructed but hollow. The performance has become exhausting. The applause feels empty. You long for something real, raw conversation, unfiltered emotion, a life where every decision aligns with your inner compass rather than external validation. That's the earthquake coming for late Virgos, not destruction, but disarmament. The armor is melting, and beneath it is the version of you who doesn't need to be edited anymore. Different days, different battles, but the same calling runs through every Virgo heart right now. Wake up. The soul is tired of compromise. It's tired of living on half-truths, half-dreams, half-emotions. You've mastered the art of endurance, but endurance without evolution is a slow death. The divine pressure you feel, that restless anxiety, that strange emptiness, isn't here to crush you. It's here to crack the shell. There's an ancient rhythm in this awakening, one that echoes through the history of every transformation. Think of the caterpillar dissolving inside its cocoon. To the outside world, it looks like ruin. But inside, it's alchemy. Virgo, that's what's happening to you. The parts of your life that no longer vibrate with truth are disintegrating so something higher can take their place. Whether it's a relationship, a job, or an identity, what's collapsing is not your life, it's your disguise. The universe doesn't separate the Virgos to divide them, but to refine them. Each of you is facing a unique initiation, but all paths lead to the same awakening, the realization that perfection isn't peace, that control isn't safety, that calm isn't happiness. Your essence is calling for something wilder, freer, more honest. So if you feel the walls closing in, breathe. You're not losing your stability. You're shedding your shell. Whether your lesson comes through love, work, or truth, it all leads to the same destination, wholeness. This is the moment when Virgo stops trying to fix everything outside and begins to heal the silence within. And when you emerge, no longer fragmented by duty or fear, you'll understand, the awakening wasn't a storm sent to destroy you. It was a sacred fire meant to bring you back to life. The universe was never against you, Virgo, and the sacred meaning of pressure. There comes a time when the weight becomes too much to bear, not because life is cruel, but because your soul refuses to carry what no longer belongs to it. Virgo, you've mistaken this pressure for punishment, but listen closely. The universe isn't punishing you with this discomfort. It's saving you from it. What you're feeling right now, the tension in your chest, the quiet panic at 3 a.m., the exhaustion that no amount of rest can heal, is not a curse. It's the sound of your soul trying to break free from the illusion that you must keep everything perfect to be safe. You see, the Virgo spirit has a sacred obsession with order. You were born to bring harmony to chaos, to build beauty from the broken. But sometimes, that devotion turns against you. You begin to believe that stability is love, that control is strength, that if you just keep everything under your steady hand, you'll be spared from pain. And yet, life, wise and untamed, knows better. The universe has begun to dismantle the walls you built not to hurt you, but to reveal how small your life became inside them. What you call collapse, it calls correction. The truth is, every awakening begins with pressure. Think of the pearl, born only through irritation inside the shell. Think of a diamond, created only under the crushing weight of the earth. Pressure isn't punishment, it's divine design. The universe applies it precisely when you've outgrown your old form. So yes, it hurts. The structures that once made sense are shaking, the relationships that once felt certain are fading, and the goals that once kept you busy now feel meaningless. But that's because something deeper is asking to be born. Something more real, more human, more free. When the universe begins this kind of rearrangement, it rarely asks for permission. It doesn't whisper, it shatters. It removes what you refuse to release. And for a sign like Virgo, who finds comfort in predictability, that shattering feels unbearable. But here's the paradox. The faster you surrender, the gentler it becomes. The resistance creates the suffering, not the change itself. So when your plans crumble, don't rush to rebuild. Sit among the ruins and listen. Every broken piece has a message. Every ending carries an instruction. You may ask, why now? Because your soul has been ready far longer than your mind has allowed. You've been suppressing emotions that wanted to speak, staying in roles that no longer fit, pretending to be calm while your inner voice screamed for release. This moment, this pressure, is not random. It's sacred timing. The discomfort is the universe's way of aligning you with what's true. It's saying, you can't fake stability anymore. You can't decorate your cage and call it peace. And when you finally stop fighting, a strange thing happens. Peace doesn't come from fixing anything. It comes from realizing there's nothing left to fix. You'll look around and see that the life falling apart was never your real life. It was the one you built to be loved, to be accepted, to be in control. The real one, the one your spirit has been longing for, begins in that quiet moment after the storm when you whisper, I'm done pretending. Virgo, this is your initiation, not into suffering, but into sovereignty. You are being asked to let the false layers peel away until only truth remains. And truth, though it arrives through chaos, is the most merciful force in the universe. It doesn't comfort you with lies. It frees you with clarity. It takes your trembling hands and says, look, this was never meant to be your forever. So when the next wave of pressure comes, don't curse it. Don't call it bad luck or karma. Call it liberation. Let the walls crack. Let the truth roar through. The universe isn't dismantling your life. It's rescuing you from the version of it that kept you small. One day soon, you'll look back on this exact season, the tears, the confusion, the exhaustion, and realize that this was the turning point. The day the pressure stopped feeling like punishment and started feeling like grace. Because that's the hidden truth of every Virgo awakening. The moment you stop fighting the universe is the moment you finally become one with it. And from that union, from that surrender, comes a rebirth so quiet yet so magnificent. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything, because it already is. The courage to detonate, Virgo, and the sacred art of owning your truth. There comes a moment when silence becomes heavier than the truth itself. When pretending to be calm costs more energy than facing the storm. Virgo, this is that moment. You've been standing at the edge for too long, waiting for life to decide when the explosion will happen, hoping maybe if you hold your breath long enough, it won't. But here's the truth you already know deep down. You can't wait for the truth to explode. You must be the one who lights the fuse. Because when you choose to set it off, you reclaim the one thing that's been slipping through your fingers, your dignity. The pressure you feel right now is not meant to be medicated or ignored. It's not anxiety gone wrong. It's an alarm for alignment. Every ache in your body, every restless night, every conversation that leaves you hollow, they're all pointing in the same direction. Something inside you is out of sync with your soul. You've been trying to keep the peace, to maintain balance, to appear composed while your inner world shakes. But pressure has one purpose, to show you where you're no longer being true. The question is, will you wait for it to break you, or will you choose to break free? Courage isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet act of admitting, this isn't working anymore. It's telling the truth even when your voice trembles. It's leaving the room when everyone expects you to stay. It's saying no to what drains you, even when it makes you look unreasonable. Virgo, your journey isn't about becoming fearless, it's about becoming faithful to yourself. Every time you speak your truth, even in small ways, you're not causing chaos. You're training your soul for the moment when authenticity demands everything. You see, the Virgo archetype was never meant to live in constant control. You are the alchemist, the one who turns raw experience into wisdom. But lately, you've been using your perfectionism as armor, not as art. You've been editing your emotions like they're typos in a manuscript, crossing out the parts that feel too much. But emotions aren't errors. They're instructions. Every discomfort is a doorway. Every confrontation is a mirror. Every truth you swallow becomes another stone in your chest, until one day you can't breathe. And that's where the courage must come in. Because this isn't about waiting for divine timing or cosmic intervention. This is about radical participation in your own awakening. When you choose to face what's been haunting you, whether it's a conversation you've avoided, a secret you've carried, or a truth you've been too kind to speak, you send a message to the universe, I am ready to evolve. That single act changes everything. It transforms pressure into propulsion, pain into passage. The storm no longer happens to you. It happens through you. Think of history. No revolution began with silence. No soul ever awakened by staying comfortable. Every transformation begins when someone, somewhere, says, enough. The caterpillar doesn't wait for permission to dissolve. It willingly enters the darkness of its cocoon, trusting that destruction is a form of creation. Virgo, that's your sacred task now. You're not falling apart. You're entering your chrysalis. Every illusion you shed is another wing forming in secret. This is your invitation to lead yourself out of waiting. The longer you postpone truth, the louder the universe will shout it for you. But when you speak first, when you decide to stop performing and start existing, something extraordinary happens. The world rearranges around your honesty. People who were drawn to your mask will drift away, yes, but those who were destined for your truth will finally find you. You will lose what was false, but gain what was always real. Virgo, your soul is expanding. It's outgrowing the version of you that was designed to make others comfortable. The pressure isn't here to punish you, it's here to stretch you, to remind you that your essence was never meant to fit inside small spaces or silent roles. You came here to live vividly, not neatly. To feel deeply, not politely. So let the truth detonate, gently but completely. Let the shockwave clear the dust from your life. Let the pieces fall where they may. And when the smoke fades, you'll see what was hidden all along. The purity of your being, untouched by performance. The divine core that no pressure could destroy, only reveal. Because the truth doesn't burn you, Virgo. It baptizes you. And on the other side of that fire, you won't just survive. You'll shine. The quiet after the storm, Virgo, and the liberation of truth. There is a silence that only comes after everything has shattered, not the silence of emptiness, but the stillness of clarity. Virgo, that's where you stand now. The explosion you feared has already happened. Maybe it wasn't loud. Maybe it arrived quietly, in a conversation that ended differently than you hoped, in a sudden realization that left you breathless, or in the moment you finally admitted to yourself, I can't live this way anymore. But it came, and it cleared the fog. And with clarity comes power. You've spent years perfecting the art of holding it together. Smiling when you were breaking. Fixing what wasn't yours to fix. Pretending that peace could be built from suppression. But peace built on pretense is fragile. It cracks under the weight of truth. And now, the mask has fallen, the walls have given way, and what remains is not ruin, it's revelation. The universe didn't come to hurt you, Virgo. It came to heal you. Every broken plan, every goodbye, every tremor in your chest was a doorway disguised as loss. You see, for so long you've lived in the performance of stability. You played the role the world expected, the dependable one, the strong one, the calm in everyone else's storm. But nobody asked how it felt to always be composed. Nobody noticed that you were shrinking to fit the script. And one day, the role stopped fitting altogether. That's when the universe intervened, not out of cruelty, but compassion. The explosion was never meant to destroy you, it was meant to return you to yourself. The truth, Virgo, is that you were never meant to be flawless. You were meant to be whole. You've mistaken control for safety, but control only delays the inevitable. The moment when your spirit demands to breathe. And now it's happening. The version of you that relied on logic to survive is dissolving, making space for the version that leads with intuition, compassion, and truth. It's unsettling to stand in the debris of what you thought was permanent, but that's how every masterpiece begins. The painter must first face a blank canvas. The phoenix must first endure the flame. Take a breath. Feel what's left when everything false has fallen away. That's your essence, unedited, unfiltered, undeniable. It's softer than you expected, and yet, infinitely stronger. Because it doesn't need to prove anything. It just is. That's what awakening feels like. It's not dramatic. It's not thunder and lightning. It's quiet, steady recognition, the moment you stop chasing what was never yours and start cherishing what always was. The explosion cleared your path. It stripped away the illusions of duty and perfection that kept you from seeing your own brilliance. The relationships that ended, the jobs that collapsed, the routines that stopped making sense, they didn't fail. They fulfilled their purpose. They taught you what no longer aligns with your truth. Now, the task isn't to rebuild your old life, it's to rise into a new one. The one where you speak honestly, love deeply, and no longer apologize for needing more. And here's the secret, you don't need to search for peace. You create it by being real. Every time you say no to what drains you, every time you say yes to what feels right in your bones, you come home to yourself. Authenticity is not a destination. It's a practice, a daily decision to live unmasked. Virgo, your explosion was your initiation. You've crossed the threshold between endurance and embodiment. You no longer have to perform resilience. You are resilience. You no longer have to chase approval. You embody truth. The fog has lifted. The noise has faded. What remains is your soul, radiant, grounded, awake. So let the revelations settle in. Let the quiet guide you. Don't rush to fill the silence. Just listen. What you'll hear is the sound of your spirit returning. Steady, calm, unafraid. Because the revelation doesn't come to hurt you, Virgo. It comes to heal you. And now, after all the breaking, all the burning, all the unraveling, you are finally free to live the one thing you were always meant to, your truth. But this time, not as a threat, as illumination. What once felt like an ending is now the beginning of something sacred. The pressure that once frightened you was never punishment, it was preparation. The walls you thought were closing in were never meant to trap you, they were meant to redirect you toward truth. You've made it through the storm, Virgo. You've looked your fears in the eye and realized they were only mirrors of the truths you refused to see. And now, in this quiet after the thunder, the air feels lighter. You can breathe again. The chaos has settled, and what remains is clarity. Clean, sharp, undeniable. The truth doesn't come to hurt you. It comes to heal you. When you stop running from it, when you allow it to wash over you, something beautiful happens. Your life begins to regain its color. The shades of gray that once surrounded you start to fade, and the light you thought you'd lost begins to return, not from outside, but from within. This is not destruction anymore. It's transformation. The explosion isn't there to break you apart, Virgo. It's there to break you open. To awaken the part of you that's been waiting to live honestly, love freely, and speak fearlessly. The universe never wanted you to suffer. It wanted you to awaken. So the question now is no longer, will the revelation come? It's, will you let it set you free? Because freedom isn't found in avoiding the truth. It's found in surrendering to it. You can direct the energy now. Turn what could have been chaos into creation. Shape what's next with your own courage. You have very little time, Virgo. Use it wisely. Use it with grace. Use it to finally become the person your soul has been asking you to be. And when you do, you'll realize that the explosion was never meant to destroy you. It was the sound of your spirit breaking open, so that the light could finally get in.